looks out of the window of her rented flat. London, she thinks. The word conjures up a potent cocktail of images. Day trips with school, the smell of plastic and vomit on the coach, colouring in worksheets on the Tower of London, posing with waxworks of TV stars, weekends with various girlfriends, West End shows and meals in Soho restaurants where neither of them understood the wine list. The occasional visit for work, she and Neil standing in a publisher's office, bemused by books everywhere and by the existence of adults with names like Jelly. The London Olympics, the last time Harbinder had felt patriotic. The fire of London, London calling, Londinium, London pride. And now Harbinder lives in this enchanted, accursed place. She has shared a flat and a job as a detective inspector in the Criminal Investigation Department of the Metropolitan Police, Homicide and Serious Crimes Unit. To her not-so-secret delight, she's in charge of a murder investigation team, MIT, based in West Kensington, W10, an area mysteriously called Delgano. She still can't quite believe the speed with which all this has happened. 1 minute she was living with her parents in Shoreham, West Sussex, complaining about work and her colleagues, especially Neil, watching reruns of Bones every night and playing games on her phone. The next, she's passed her detective exam, applied for a new job, piled her few belongings into Neil's brother's van, and moved into the front room of number 45 Balby Road. "You're a London girl now," said her mother when she kissed her goodbye. There was real awe in her voice, spoiled only by her saying with her next breath, "You can always come back if it's too much for you." "Be careful in the big city," said her dad. "It's not cosy like dear old Sussex." There was an edge of irony in his voice, which wasn't surprising, considering that Harbinder had been involved with several high-profile murder cases in the supposedly safe seaside town. "I wouldn't live in London," said Neil, who had kindly offered to drive the van. "Why?" said Harbinder. "Too many brown people for you?" "No," said Neil patiently. "Too much crime." "We're police officers," said Harbinder, already terrified by the traffic on the South Circular. "We love crime." But she knew what he meant. London equals serious crime. Not just murder, which could be disappointingly mundane, but drugs, racketeering, gangs, human trafficking. The very worst of human nature, thought Harbinder, with a not unpleasurable shiver, as the van passed several boarded-up shops and a pub called Dr. Crippen's. Which was why, after a month in her new job, she was rather disappointed that her work had so far mostly involved attending meetings and learning new computer programs. At least she had her own office, though, with D.I. Harbinder Kaur on the door. She tried to take a selfie for Neil, but hadn't been able to get both her face and the sign in the picture. Her DS, Cassie Fitzgerald, sweetly offered to take a proper picture, but the moment had passed. Harbinder likes West London. Her flat is on the top floor of a solid terraced house in a long, curving road leading down to Wormwood Scrubs. But there's a pleasant park nearby and a variety of shops, cafes and restaurants. She likes walking the streets at the weekends, catching sight of herself in shop windows, striding along in her jeans and leather jacket. It's September, a bright, clear autumn. Pumpkins are appearing in the shops, and the tree outside Harbinder's window is turning from green to amber to red, like a traffic light in reverse. Harbinder may have been teasing Neil, but it's also nice to be in a multicultural city. The first time she saw Sikh men in turbans, she thought they must be her father or her brothers. It's refreshing, and rather strange, not to be the only person of colour on the bus to work. She's not the only woman of colour at the station either, although she is the only DI. Her flatmates are about as white as you can get, though. Jean is Scottish, with red hair and almost translucent skin. Mette is Danish, tall and blonde, fearlessly riding a bicycle around the horror that is the Scrubs Lane intersection. Jean is a teacher, and Mette an architect. Harbinder doesn't know them very well yet, but the flatmates have been out for a pizza together and chat whenever they coincide in the kitchen. There's no sitting room, so they spend most of their time in their bedrooms. Harbinder doesn't mind this, but sometimes playing Panda Pop by the open window at night and hearing music from the flats opposite, she does catch herself thinking, is this all there is to London? Now, it's Saturday evening, and Harbinder is at her window.